Well, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. My name is Louie. I hope you're having yourself a fantastic day. Today we are in the back area of our shop. Like, I call it the warehouse area. It's not a warehouse area. I'm not that big and fancy. But we're shipping out Gold Wizard orders, shipping out all of our Tarkir Dragonstorm, getting that stuff out. And a huge amount of people, shout out to all the Gold Wizards who support the channel and also are able to order stuff at distro cost that is readily available product. They all thought of something I didn't think about, which is I've been so in the weeds of things. I didn't even think Commander Legends Baldur's Gate, these guys ordered a ton, and girls ordered a ton of Commander Legends Baldur's Gate this week. Thinking outside the box and understanding that Tarkir Dragonstorm is going to drive up a lot of the value of dragons and that kind of thing. And I don't know, pretty cool to ship out. I think we shipped out 75 boxes of draft boxes of Dungeons & Dragons Baldur's Gate, a bunch of collector boxes, stuff like that. So kind of cool. Today, though, I want to talk about risk. This week, I've been trying to make videos. I've been trying to get back to regular content. But in the midst of all the Tarkir Dragonstorm stuff, and a huge release, probably our biggest release ever. I think we, a lot of capital, a lot of release. Probably our biggest release ever. In the midst of that, in the midst of, Journey Together and Pokemon going nuts, the most Pokemon product I've ever gotten ever, I had this opportunity to pick up and buy out another store. And this is something we did about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. We bought out another store and it worked out really, really well. It was a lot of fun. It did not happen in the same timeline as this. It has provided a good opportunity for me to have an open dialogue with you about risk and reward and taking gambles with educated guesses. And I just think it's a good opportunity for me to share my thoughts on it, on the risk reward strategies and the way that you have to take risks in this business. So, it's been a week. I wanted to do more content. I apologize, but I just have been so caught up in this whole thing. I have an opportunity. I'm picking up 2 pallets of Pokemon product and some Magic product, kind of Modern Horizons 3 release, Temporal Forces release, a store that I knew of for a while, went out of business or closed up their shop. And they've just kind of, been sitting on a lot of product, and they reached out to me and they said, hey, listen, like, the market's really hot. We're ready to get rid of kind of all the stuff that we had left over back in that day that's just been sitting in a storage unit of theirs. And so I took this risk, and it's going to be here next week. We'll probably do some more content from it there. But I wanted to share with you a little bit my perspective. On this channel, I compete, or not compete, but on the YouTube sphere, there's a lot of other content creators who do stuff like this that have a much higher risk tolerance and a much higher, I assume a much higher capital than I do. And one of the things I've really taken a joy in is that I don't go into debt to do anything. The kind of way I handle all of my business is just capital and moving one thing into another thing and kind of snowballing. That's kind of how I would approach. And because the reason I snowball rather than taking on debt, I understand that there is large advantages to taking on debt and taking on like a 30-day no interest. You don't have to put the money up front, that kind of thing. There's a lot of that out there. There's a lot of opportunity for that out there. But one of the reasons I don't do that is because I don't like taking on increased risk for my family. And I want to make sure that my business and everything that I do here grows proportionally, not just to, my family's lifestyle and that kind of thing, but also my time and my energy and my employees' time and my employees' energy. And so whenever I get opportunities, we use Shopify for our website, and Shopify has a huge capital thing. You can get, I think you can get like $400,000 or something like that. And then they just take money out of your Shopify sales. So you don't even really pay back. It's like a whole thing. There's all these opportunities to do that stuff, but I choose not to do them, not because I don't believe that they could help me scale the business up or grow the business up, but because I want to scale and grow my business organically and to a point where I'm not afraid that it's going to collapse upon itself. In other words, yeah, if I had the capital of $500,000 to buy more product, sure, I could buy the product, but then do I have the ability to sell the product? And then do I have the ability to ship and move the product and get the product from point A to point B? I much rather take these kind of steps and big, risks along the way that I know that my staff can handle, I know that I can handle without completely becoming stressed out on the family dynamic, on the rest of my life dynamic. And so I want to just share that. I know that that's not sexy. I know that that's not flashy. It's way cooler to come out here and tell you, oh yeah, I'm taking huge risks and huge gambles, because people on YouTube tend to want to see somebody do something that maybe they feel like they can't do, or that they don't want to do, or that they would never do themselves. But I feel like in order to scale and grow in a healthy way, and in order to be here in 20 years and 30 years, doing this well and doing this right, the best opportunity is to scale and grow. So I took this opportunity, and we got through Tarkir Dragonstorm. I think it's going really well. The set looks good. We were able to provide for Gold Wizards, what they ordered, about 50% of what they ordered. Obviously they get, they just put a 20% deposit. So it all kind of balanced out. It's not guaranteed product. So that went really well, I felt like, and we got kind of through that. And this is the next big thing. And it's for me, it's a little bit different of talking product wise, we're talking about $70,000 to $80,000 worth of product that will be coming in, and that's really exciting. But there's also an avenue of it that's it's a little scary. It's a little bit like a little bit of a nerve-wracking thing. But from a perspective for you guys, one of the things that I think is really important is that when you take your next steps, whatever that next step is, that you don't compare your next step to somebody's first step or somebody's 10,000th step. On this platform and in this world, there is always, there's an old adage in boating. I don't know how many of you, I don't boat, I don't have a boat, but there's always a bigger boat, right? So you buy a boat and somebody else is going to have a bigger boat, and you're like, oh, I have the biggest boat in the marina, and you feel like really good about yourself. And then you go to the next marina and you're like, oh man, that boat's twice my size. And it's really easy to watch YouTube, to watch Instagram, and to see PokeTubers and Magic the Gathering streamers and people on whatnot. It's really easy to compare what is your second, 10th, 15th step, your second big purchase, or your 15th big purchase, or whatever it is, to somebody who's been doing this for 10 years, has a different story than yours, has a different capital than yours, and has a different vision for their life than yours. It's really easy to compare when you're getting into risk assessment and cataloging what you want to do with your life. And I also think on the other side of that, it's really easy to say, hey, I'm not going to do something because I'm not like that person, and I can't do that. And I think it's really crazy that I'm in this position. Like, I never would have guessed 5 years ago that this is what I'd be doing, that I'd be wiring. I still get, when I send that amount of money, even to distro for Tarkir, even when the vast majority of my product is, already picked up by Gold Wizards and that kind of program, even when I do that, I'm still astonished at the amount of money that moves back and forth. When I see it, it's like, for me, it's I'm not used to seeing that kind of money. I don't come from a background that moving people's money around and dealing with millions of dollars. And that's not my background. So like, for me, it's still crazy to see that. There was a side of me for a long time, for about a year, when I was like, man, do I have what it takes to do this? Is this going to work? Like, and it felt super crazy to me. And now it's become kind of like the norm. And now you have the next thing and the next step. So I just want this video, I guess this video is turning into just encouraging you. Take a look at where you currently are, and take a look at where you want to go. Figure out what is the next step or two, the next risk that you can do to get from point A to point B. And don't take shortcuts. My encouragement would be, don't take shortcuts to get from point A to point D or point F. Just go from point A to point B. Take little risks that you feel comfortable with along the way. calculated risks that you know, hey, if this doesn't work out, if this palette of Pokemon doesn't work out and they reprint it next week and then nobody wants it and it's not selling and the Pokemon market dies, great, I will lose money, but I won't lose my business. I won't lose the ability to keep running this. I won't lose the ability to help feed my kids and help parent my kids and help live my life. The calculated risk is what I think that it's all about. You can't just take risk without calculating, hey, when this doesn't work out, what's the end game? Does it help me still get from point A to point B? If at the end of this day, this big thing that I'm doing doesn't work out, I'll lose money, but I'll learn along the way what the process looks like and why I lost money and what I did wrong or how I did things differently. So for me, you calculate it, you play this game of what if it all goes wrong? Do I still want the product? Do I still want the stuff? I'm not buying a bunch of MetaZoo, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not buying a bunch of stuff that I don't want and that I don't, have in here. And so for me, it's like calculating that and thinking, is this a good next step for me? And I've really had to get outside of the mindset of looking at other people and how other people do things and what other people are doing and say, listen, that might work great for that guy. That's awesome. And I'm happy for him that it's working out down the road for, this store or that store or this YouTuber or that person, but that's not me. That's not my life. And as a viewer, I think that's really important to remember when you're watching my content, when you're watching somebody else's content, is don't compare your current world with somebody else's current world, because they're completely different. All right, that's it. That's the video for today. Take risks, take the next risk for you, and don't be afraid to do it. I'll kind of share when I get stuff in. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's kind of a crazy palette of random stuff, but it's also it's good. It's a Pokemon product. We're in the middle of a big Pokemon market. It's Modern Horizons 3 is a set that I just think at the end of the day, it's a great set. There's a bunch of other like commander decks and just random things from stuff that they had in storage, and so it'll be a lot of fun to go through it and a lot of fun to see it. Hopefully you have yourself a great day. If you're interested in joining the Gold Wizard program and seeing stuff behind the scenes, and have opportunity to get Baldur's Gate Commander Legends at whatever distro cost is these days, if they still have it next week, who knows, join the Discord server. Go to KitchenTableTCG.com, hop in there. The Discord server, all the links for the online Discord server are there, and we'll see you there. Have a great day. Be kind to the people around you. We'll see you again next video.